more than some of my family members. And so I had to use a different approach with them. And so what I do, I provide them with the materials that those that need it, so they won't share equipment with anybody. Now, back in the day, I used to smoke cigarettes. Man, let me get a pull off of that. I didn't know I was posing harm against myself. I didn't know that you can pass hepatitis from a straw. You understand what I'm saying? And so we encourage individuals to use their own equipment and don't share. And so that's why those services are out there in various communities, high-risk communities, to try to reduce diseases, basically, to try to keep people healthy. Any questions to that? So they developed something called fentanyl strips. Anybody know about fentanyl? What you know? What you know, Sharon? What you know?
A lot of people were prescribed it and then were then taken off of it. I was prescribed sciatica. I had a fentanyl patch.
Mm-hmm.
This was years ago. We're talking about 20 years ago. I was working in Phillip Homes and had an injury pertaining to my back, and they prescribed me a fentanyl patch. Here we are, and it was terrible. You know, it was, and at the time the instructions were, if you have small pets and children at home, you can't put it in the garbage can. You know, you can't pull it directly off the skin. You gotta be weaned off. And this is just something that, you know, a 20-year-old girl walked in there with back pain and they stuck a patch on me. It could have had me addicted to all kinds of drugs. You know what I'm saying? Could have gatewayed me into other things. So not everyone that has an addiction necessarily parties their way to addiction. Some people just became ill and now have habits that they don't know how to control.
Yeah, so they used it for pain. That's what I got from you. What you got, baby?
There's a difference between medical fentanyl and street fentanyl. They call it car fentanyl. So the car fentanyl is really what's killing people out on the streets right now, the street fentanyl.
What do they call it?
Car fentanyl.
Car?
So they had an episode of car fentanyl on Chicago PD.
Okay.
So one thing I like about watching PD, you know, they have life stuff was going on in the world for you to see it, you know, and I was all into that episode because that's what I do. I do harm reduction. And so when fentanyl hit the streets, they were dying everywhere. And when they went to the hospital, they didn't know, the system really didn't know what to do. So they had to come up with all these policies and different things like that to find out what's going on. People at the hospital and dying in the hospital because they don't know how to treat it. And so they developed these fentanyl strips, which we encourage individuals to test your drugs. One thing that I found out, fentanyl is on everything. Even if you don't test it, set your mind, it's on there. If I don't test it or not, we just don't know how much is on there. And I have, in talking with some of the individuals I deal with, I heard a young man say, if it don't have fentanyl on it, I don't want it. And I was like, wow. That's what his body is accustomed to. If it don't have no fentanyl on it, he don't want it. Okay? Now we got another problem. Xylazine. And that's the flyer that I passed out. So the hospital systems, when they come out with this xylazine, oh, they were really messed up at the hospital. Oh my God, these people, oh Lord, they just died everywhere. A pinch of kill. Okay, so what they developed was xylazine strips, just like the fentanyl strips. And you can test them both at the same time. Put both of the strips in there. And so we provide a little Ziploc little package with everything in there that you need to test it with, because we found out most people overdose in the street because they trying to get they fixed, they sick, so they might duck off in a corner and just fall out and die. About 3 weeks ago, I was pulling up at the store and they was calling me like this. I'm walking up and they was like, hurry up. And all she could do was point. She said, save his life. So I run back to the car because I keep Narcan on me at all times. And I end up saving the man's life. He didn't have a pulse when I got back there. And I had to hit him twice. One, I didn't bring any Narcan with me, but it's simple how you use it. It's a nasal. You just peel it off and push it. The dosage it's the right dosage, so you don't have to worry about giving a person too much, and I educate individuals on how to use the Narcan, what to do, and everything like that. And so I have saved many lives during my process of being in the harm reduction field. And it's gratifying because I didn't know anything. It's just like when I got into HIV, I was ignorant too. And in going to different trainings and acquiring many certifications, I said, I kind of like this. I never thought, a friend of mine, he asked me, he said, I just started out as a volunteer passing out condoms on the north side of Chicago. And he said, Pier, you think you want to do this? And I was like, I don't know. That Monday, he said, you going to this training? You going to that training? I said, I ain't asked you to do all that. I just showed up. And that's when my journey had begun into HIV. But I love what I do because I'm helping people. I'm educating people, and it's very rewarding field to be in for me. I love it. I don't get enough of talking about it. Giving back to individuals that not knowledgeable about things and getting factual information, not no word on the street. This is factual information that we provide, and people come to that band and they say, we don't know what we would do without y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for showing up every week to provide us with what we need. If you need clean needles, we're going to provide you with clean needles. Type of individual I am. I'm going to throw something in there. I'm going to bring you some clothes. I'm going to bring you some snacks. I'm going to bring you some hats. Because working in that field, I've met a lot of homeless people. And like I say, I don't judge. I'm just going to try to help you. And if I can help refer you, to services, that's what I'm going to do. And all they want is somebody to listen, not to judge. Because I found out, you're going to lose them. You're going to lose the individual. And I don't approach with what you need to do. My approach is, what is it that I can do to help assist you in what you're trying to do? We start out small, and I found out that goes a long way. But when you go tell somebody what they need to do and everybody grown, have individuals in this room get somebody tell you what you need to do. You're going to get very defensive. And it's the same way. They individuals, and they have a right to be here. They just got caught up. And so anybody got any questions?
I just want to, so you were talking about the carfentanil, and when I looked it up, it says that they even give it to animals. They use it for veterinary causes.
Oh, yeah.
So it's still a prescription. Right, and so when they get these prescriptions, they put them on the street, and then you have, people trying to recreate it in labs.
Right, that's the part, how really they process it, wherever they do it at. And I'm sure the mixture isn't right. It's just, so that's mostly the car street fentanyl.
Okay.
Let me just
I got
say
a
this,
question.
well, xylazine is an animal tranquilizer that they put animals down with. And so the cartels then tapped into that, which is cheap, and still to this day, I don't understand where y'all know this stuff killing people. Where you gonna kill off your population? Who's gonna buy it now? The same people that don't do drugs ain't gonna start doing no drugs. And so it's a very dangerous drug. Like I say this here.
Yeah. So is fentanyl a totally synthetic, or is it part of the opioid?
Well, it's part of the opioid classification because they, like he was saying earlier, you can get a prescription for that. They prescribe it for pain.
Fentanyl?
But
Yeah.
when it's abused, it's a problem.
Right.
Everything he
And
mentioned
so
was
these
man-made.
drugs
Yeah, it was a man.
Man-made.
is man-made.
It's synthetic, it's got synthetic.
Right, so these drugs, they actually, they got a lab in their basement. They got blenders going everywhere. And they mixing the drug. It's no heroin on the street anymore, period.
Yes. That's
And
right.
so they mix it, Oxy, Tylenol 3s, the fentanyl, the Narcan. So when you use that drug, you had that kind of effect of what the heroin would do to you.
Right.
So they making this stuff. That's why we hear about so many overdoses, young teens. They done bought some stuff off Amazon. That, and they take it and lace it with the fentanyl or the xylazine. And all those things are on, as they say, I call it trees, weed. I know people, a girl come to the band, she say she took a couple of pulls off some weed, she ended up in Maryville. She said, I don't know how I got there. And so from that day she told me, I said, well girl, you gotta be careful who you get this stuff from. Most people go to the dispensary where they know it's safe. Where they know the weed is safe. You cannot buy products from you. You don't know what you're getting, but when you go to dispensary, your stuff is good. I don't have to worry about having a trip. You understand what I'm saying? I lost a couple of colleagues, and prior to her passing, and everybody knew she was an active user. CRA really didn't have any issues with active user on the team because you're a reflection of the population that you serve them. And I had just had a conversation with her, which it was very delicate. And I had to ask her, can I ask you some stuff? And she was like, yeah. And I asked her, do she get her stuff from the same supplier? And I asked, did she test her stuff? And this young woman said, oh, I get it from the same person. I said, okay, so you don't test it? And she said, no. Got a phone call a week later. She overdosed. And so some people think they safe because they get it from the same individual, which they're not testing their product. They might be throwing some fentanyl on there when it's already hit already.
Get it that way.
He might be getting it from several people.
From his supplier.
From his supplier.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And that hurt me to my heart because I had just had a conversation with her about that. And so you have to be careful when you out here buying illicit drugs. you know.
I had a friend. I met some people. They done went to treatment and done on the methadone program, and they go drop, and they done told me that man, when I dropped, people told me I had everything in my system but heroin or cocaine. They named every pill, because that's what they use, and they'll take the fentanyl and they'll mix the fentanyl with all type of pills, anything that'll make you doze off. No doze. They go, you know what I'm saying? Anything that'll make you sleepy. But the fentanyl is so powerful. I heard that the fentanyl is used for people that suffer from gunshot wounds.
Yeah, severe one.
You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing with that. It don't have, I'm telling you, I didn't have a scratch on my body.
Yeah.
And they gave me,
You had pain backside.
Just a back issue. And they put you on now that's patches absorbed through your skin 24 hours just on you for a week. So it's not like I had the luxury of going in there in my prescription bottle and taking one at my leisure. It's being pumped through my skin.
In your body.
And you can't take it off. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause if you take it off now, you vomiting, you sick, it's gonna send you into withdrawal. So these doctors are signing you up to be drug addicts. Like, you gotta understand that too. You have to it's a lot of trust that you have to have out here, not only with your physicians too. You know.
Well, I do know that the withdrawals are more severe than they were when people was just trying to get clean from just heroin. I've been told it's something else, period. I couldn't do it. I lasted 2 days and I couldn't take it no more, and I just had to go cop. They said it's real tough.
Siete caballo, that means horse anesthesia. And also tran, which is short for tranquilo, tranquilidad, which means relaxing, those three things. And funny that I see the tran because I've been hearing music recently in reggaeton in Puerto Rico, Colombia, Argentina. So I just wanted to support your statement, by translating.
Well, they call it trank on the street, and it does just that. I've seen the devastation of it. Family member got hold of some, and they was in a zombie-like state. And I knew they hadn't had no fentanyl. And they looked like a whole different person. And the state that they was in was unbelievable. Now, Narcan doesn't work for xylazine. And so they was like, well, give him some Narcan. I say it's not going to do any good. He's not overdosing. He just was in that zombie-like state. And I've also watched videos. You can Google, and Google will show you some of the videos of the state that individuals are in when they use xylazine, and it's a zombie-like state. If you want to take a look one day, just Google. Show me some videos of people that use xylazine, and it's just unbelievable. And that's what kept me going to the next one, I couldn't put the phone down. I was like, oh my God. And it does just that. Put you in a zombie-like state. So when I
combine it in that stuff they call bath salts, that put you in a zombie-like state too. The bath salts.
Say that again, what you asking?
And the bath salts, is it in that too?
Now, don't quote me on that. I don't know about none of all that. Now, I got to do some research on that, But it's out here, it's messing our people up. And let me tell you this about trank. It's like the flushing disease. It's going to eat your flush up. And so, in working on that van, we had to get trained on how to treat wounds. People have lost limbs. I've seen it with my own eyes because the individual showed me. And that messed my whole day up. Because I asked her, I said, I don't have to see it. I believe you. She was like, no, no, no. And I went to do something and turned around. That girl raised her sleeve. I said, oh my God, and that's my whole day up. And she said, this is from 2 years of it. And so they have some wounds that's out of sight. And they losing limbs and everything. So we would provide wound care kits and teach them how to take care of their wound, and then they pick at it. You know, they pick at it with hands and nails dirty, so it's getting infected when you do that. So that little bag that we give them has gloves, you know, water, everything to treat that wound. Now, most people doing that, they trying to survive and they trying to get high. So I don't know one person that's gonna sit down and take care of it, but we provide that service. You know, one day, so let me use this, you know, and put some of this ointment that them people gave me, you know, on it, you know. But it's shaking up our world, y'all. It's more than a notion. It's more than a notion. So just try to meet people where they are.